Hello learners, in this session we will discuss about how to deal with the diagrammatic part in the listening part. Sometimes you get a diagram which is very typical for many students, but I'm going to tell you a way guys through which you can find it very easy and you can get all the answers correct. Just a matter of few things. So first of all, in the listening diagrammatic part, you need to understand the locations which are very important. So they use east, west, north, south. Don't get confused with that because it will just like a map of India, east, west, north and south. Alright, if he's talking about just a little bit move towards the north, just move up. If that is talking about the west, just go through the left side. So that's very important to understand the directions. However, there are some vocabularies which they will be using up to confuse you. So like first vocab is on the top or at the bottom. They use on the top of that, you'll find there is a beautiful, a lake, which is, so on the top of that, just go above that. So that's very important to understand these words. On the top, at the bottom. Number two, on the left, on the right, or on the far side of that. On the far side of the library, you'll find there is a washroom. So you need to understand that on the where is far side of that. On the left, on the right, north, south, east, west, just like a map of India, you need to picturize. Before writing the diagrammatic answers, guys, you can simply plan out a map like east, west, north, south. On the southwest, on the northeast. On the northeast will be in middle of that, and southwest will be between south and west. So you need to understand it. Slightly west of, that means little bit inclination towards the west. That is slightly west of. In the middle of, in the center of. In the center of the park, you'll find there is a beautiful garden. So you can say that in the middle of there's something. Above, below, these words you need to understand. Opposite or in front of, that's again in front of the library, you'll find there is a tea stall. So that is important to understand where is in, and make sure guys when you go through the diagrammatic part, picturize the image in your mind before starting. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise will be straight and anti-clockwise will be the opposite of that. A little beyond of that, little beyond you need to understand parallel to, if something is going parallel to the Harper lane. So parallel to that, you just Harper lane, you need to go through parallel of that. Across that, on the other side, around the corner, you'll find there. So these words are very important to keep in your mind, guys, and you will see after that. Once you do, practice in the diagrammatic part, after some time you'll feel all answers are coming correct. So there will be no issue with that. Now, there are some tricks to deal with the diagrammatic part of the questions. So these tricks you should keep in your mind while going through it. The number one is read the question carefully and understand the map. It's very important, guys, for you to whether they have written one word answer or no more than 3 words. So reading the instructions is very important. Number two, think about where the person might begin their talk from. So when the talk is being started, guys, at that time, make sure the person is starting from the left or top or bottom or the right side. It's very important from where he or she is beginning the talk. Look at the major part of the match, like if there is a building, it's about the university. So you need to understand what are the major parts of that, like tea stall, a library, a computer lab. So these things you need to keep in your mind, where are the major parts of that. Predict what type of the words might be the answer. For example, a place, room, street, building, etc. What can be the answer of that? So you need to predict that. That's very important. Visualize the place they are describing. Before going through the questions, when you get the pause, guys, at that time, you can simply picturize, visualize the complete image in your mind as if you're watching a movie. In that scenario, if the person is starting a talk from anywhere, you can easily figure out where he is starting from. So visualize the complete map in your mind. Use signposting language. You'll be saying to the west of that, to the north. I have given you the vocabulary before, so make sure those vocabularies should be in your mind. Make short notes on the question paper. It's very important for you guys while listening the recording. You just write down some key points, some notes that will help you to find out answer very easily. So after going through all these tricks, I'm damn sure that you can score very good in the diagrammatic part. Now let's have one example which is coming in front of your screen now. You will see that. Go through it very carefully and understand what this diagram talks about.
The Rangers will be hard at work all day, but do come and join in, even for just a short while. One thing, though, is to make sure you're wearing something that you don't mind getting dirty or torn. And finally, I'd like to tell you about our new wildlife area, Hinchingbrook Park, which will be opened to the public next month. This slide doesn't really indicate how big it is, but anyway, you can see the two gates into the park and the main paths. As you can see, there's a lake in the northwest of the park with a bird hide to the west of it at the end of a path. So it'll be a nice, quiet place for watching the birds on the lake. Fairly close to where refreshments are available, there's a dog walking area in the southern part of the park, leading off from the path. And if you just want to sit and relax, you can go to the flower garden. That's the circular area on the map, surrounded by paths. And finally, there's a wooded area in the western section of the park, between two paths. OK, that's enough from me, so let's get on and have a look.
Okay, that was something about the collections, and now here's some more practical information, in case you need it. Most of the museum facilities are downstairs in the basement, so you go down the stairs here. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, you'll find yourself in a sitting area with comfortable chairs and sofas where you can have a rest before continuing your exploration of the museum. We have a very good restaurant which serves excellent food all day in a relaxing atmosphere. To reach it, when you get to the bottom of the stairs, go straight ahead to the far side of the sitting area, then turn right into the corridor. You'll see the door of the restaurant facing you. If you just want a snack or if you'd like to eat somewhere with facilities for children, we also have a cafe. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, you'll need to go straight ahead, turn right into the corridor, and the cafe is immediately on the right. And talking about children, there are baby changing facilities downstairs. Cross the sitting area, continue straight ahead along the corridor on the left, and you and your baby will find the facilities on the left-hand side. The cloakroom, where you should leave coats, umbrellas, and any large bags, is on the left-hand side of the sitting area. It's through the last door before you come to the corridor. There are toilets on every floor, but in the basement, they're the first rooms on the left when you get down there. Okay, now if you've got anything to leave in the cloakroom, please do that now, and then we'll start our tour.
Now, we've also put together a map which we've sent out to all the residents in the area. And on the map we've marked the proposed changes. Firstly, we'll plant mature pine trees to provide shelter and shade just to the right of the supermarket in Days Road. In order to address the traffic problems, the pavements on the corner of Carberry and Thomas Street will be widened. This will help to reduce the speed of vehicles entering Thomas Street. We think it's very important to separate the local residential streets from the main road, so the roadway at the entrance to Thomas Street from Days Road will be painted red. This should mark it more clearly and act as a signal for traffic to slow down. One way of making sure that the pedestrians are safe is to increase signage at the intersections. A Keep Clear sign will be erected at the junction of Evelyn Street and Hill Street to enable traffic to exit at all times. Something we're planning to do to help control the flow of traffic in the area is to install traffic lights halfway down Hill Street where it crosses Days Road. Now, we haven't only thought about the cars and traffic, of course. There's also something for the children. We're going to get school children in the area to research a local story, the life of a local sports hero, perhaps. And an artist will incorporate that story into paintings on the wall of a building on the other side of Hill Street from the supermarket. And finally, we've agreed to build a new children's playground, which will be at the other end of Hill Street, close to the intersection with Carberry Street.
Wonderful. Now, what's the next stage?
Well, The final plan will